Always glad to welcome back to the program Ann Coulter, syndicated columnist and the best-selling author of In Trump We Trust, E Pluribus Awesome, and Resistance is Futile, How the Trump-Hating Left Lost Its Collective Mind. Ann, I take it that you'd like to see the conservatives in this country respond just as vociferously as the liberals seem to be responding right now, saying that when they go low, we're going to kick them in the face, like Eric Holder said recently.
Right. Well, we don't even have to be as bad as they are, but I don't think we should just keep rolling over for things like this. I mean, there are potential perjury prosecutions to be had for these false accusers against Brett Kavanaugh. As I point out in the column, false rape accusers are almost never, ever, ever prosecuted. One of the most famous cases of that, the Duke lacrosse case, roiling the entire nation, destroying a lacrosse team and a lacrosse coach. All the kids on that lacrosse team, many of them had quite promising futures in lacrosse. No, that was completely destroyed from this nut, Crystal Mangum's false accusation that she had been gang raped. But oh no, they get vindicated. The DA is disbarred. The Attorney General of the state pronounces them innocent after this outrageous witch hunt. And Crystal Mangum was never prosecuted. The next time we hear her name is a few years later when she stabbed her boyfriend to death. They're like the Clintons, these false rape accusers. They can cut swaths through the nation committing crimes, and they'll never be held to account. I think we have a pretty good idea that Julie Swetnick, my favorite of the false accusers,
oh my God,
was giving quite a few statements under oath that don't bear out to logic, much less to facts. We have Deborah Ramirez, who accused Kavanaugh, Justice Kavanaugh, of doing to her what Bill Clinton did to Paula Jones as governor of the of the state of Arkansas. He was sued when he was president of the United States. And when he was president of the United States, Gloria Steinem, laughed it off. He took no for an answer. Who cares if he whipped it out to an underling as governor of the state? So maybe we can at least get Gloria Steinem under oath to explain why it is disqualifying for a drunken college freshman to do that, something I don't think anyone believes Brett Kavanaugh ever did, and there's certainly no corroboration, evidence, witnesses, or contemporaneous statements to back it up. But in theory, what the accusation was, something that it's disqualifying for a drunk college freshman to do, but A-OK for a governor of a state in the United States to do. And the first accuser, the one whose testimony was supposed to be believable because people watched her, and wow, she sure looked credible to me, but hadn't mentioned it to anyone for 30 years.
Well, Ann, what do you think?
And no one backed it up. I mean, what about that front door? She claimed she had a front door two front doors because of the trauma. Everyone looked at the house. This is a very expensive neighborhood she lives in. She had said that they rent out an apartment to Google employees, or interns as she called them. Oh, I think those interns are paying a pretty penny for that. That isn't a front door to her house. It seems perfectly clear that is a door to a rental apartment. That's a lie under oath. Her fear of flying, that certainly seems to be false. And as much as she jets all over the globe to go surfing, who paid for the polygraph? Well, I guess she corrected that one. But whether she had ever coached anyone on a polygraph, her live-in 6-year ex-boyfriend says that he was present when she was coaching one of her friends on how to take a polygraph, something she was asked about under oath and denied. The next hearing, the next Supreme Court justice to go and be replaced, and I have a few guesses about who that might be. It's going to be an absolute. It will make Kavanaugh look like a day at the beach.
Well, Ann, what's the thinking? I mean, to some extent, do you think prosecutors, and this is talking about the more local cases, are afraid to do this for fear of being accused by the Me Too crowd of you're attacking women? No, you're attacking a liar. You're attacking a perjurer. Right. So what will it take to get those people to get a backbone and say, we will go after every truly guilty sex offender in America, but if you lie and try to falsely accuse somebody, you too will face consequences?
No, in fact, I think they should face the consequences of what they were accusing the other person of. False accusations of rape have sent innocent men to prison. Um, wow, there's got to be some repercussions for that.
Well, but where do you see the venue for being able to do? I mean, I'd like to do it, but how do we do it? I mean, do you put pressure on the local prosecutor who's got the call? It's not as often going to be a federal case as a local case. So how do we get this to change to where we say this is part of taking you seriously, that we take your true accusation so seriously that when we find a false one, we go after it equally hard. How do we get that dynamic to shift? Because right now, I think most prosecutors would rather do anything in the world than go after a false accuser.
Yes, and as you indicate, it's utter madness, this idea, we don't want to discourage false accusers from coming forward. No, actually, we do want to discourage that. We don't want people's lives being ruined. But you're right, there's this feeling that you're going against actual rape victims if you go after false accusers of rape. There's a movie out now about Brian Banks, really had a bright future when he was falsely accused of rape in high school, served 5 years in prison, got out, and his accuser called and apologized to him, said she made it up. I guess he got it on tape. He got the conviction erased. They made a movie about it, but unfortunately it came out in the middle of the Kavanaugh hearings, so it's gotten zero press. That's this guy, Brian Banks. I tweeted a review of the movie yesterday, but I'm dying to see it. I've just read the review. Think of it. This guy's life was completely ruined. I mean, it's a horrible, horrible thing that's being done, and there have to be consequences for it.
Well, I'm going to do this, Ann. The next time I talk to any politician either side of the aisle, I'm going to say to them, would you like to see us go after the false accusers just as tough as we go after those who are making a legitimate one? Her latest book is called Resistance is Futile, How the Trump-Hating Left Lost Its Collective Mind. Ann, thank you so much for the time.
Good to talk to you, Lars. Bye-bye.
Nice to talk to you as well.